And it's time once again for Trust Matters, real estate and estate planning solutions with Gateville Law Firm. They are located in Yorkville and at gatevillelawfirm.com. Sean Robertson from Gateville Law Firm is with us. And Sean, we appreciate you joining us once again, as today we're talking about a topic that has to do with cancer and estate planning, how families in Illinois can prepare for the unexpected. So what are we dealing with here? Because we've talked before about medical issues and things that pop up like that, and you want to have a plan in place before we get to some kind of tough situation from a medical standpoint. Today, we talk about cancer. Where are we focusing here?
Yeah, so we're talking about cancer today, but this could be a conversation about really any illness, Mike. So it's important to, when you're managing treatment, you're making medical decisions, you're uncertain. It's kind of nice to have your plan in place so you don't have to worry about these things when you're going through cancer and you're just worrying about, what the doctor's going to say or what the doctor's not going to say.
Yeah, so getting this plan in place before we get to a medical situation, what are some of the steps that we want to take care of here?
Yeah, so some of the proper documents and if you don't have this in place, you could be in a guardianship proceeding, which is kind of like a subchapter of probate, which can be expensive, slow, and emotionally draining to families. So a power of attorney for property and health care are essential. And a lot of times we recommend, Mike, people that are over the age of 18 to have those, because those documents really don't cost that much money. But if you have a guardianship, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And if you don't like government and you don't like somebody controlling your life, you're not going to like guardianship court.
Yeah, because that's where the families, they might have to petition the court to get guardianship, and that sounds like a lot of red tape and hassle and stress and frustration.
Exactly. So there's two foundational tools in Illinois: a power of attorney for health care, where you appoint somebody who you trust to make medical decisions if you can't communicate. And sometimes you're not thinking the right way, or maybe you don't understand medical terminology, because medical terminology and health insurance is difficult as it is. And the second document is a power of attorney for property or finances. So the power of attorney for finances empowers a trusted person to handle your financial affairs, pay your bills, manage your investments, handle property transactions. You can sell real estate with it. So these are kind of a foundational tool for somebody that may be sick, so they don't have to worry about, it's one less worry they have to worry about.
And the two main areas that we've talked a lot about on this show that you want to have at least one of these in place: a last will and testament or a revocable living trust. Two options there.
Exactly. So if you're facing illness, sometimes to minimize complications, it's good to have like a living will or a trust, and sometimes you even want like advanced directives in life planning. You want your family to know: do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? What are kind of, how do you want them to make decisions? If you have a breathing tube, is that okay? These are topics that are difficult to deal with, but are necessary, especially if you have cancer or another serious illness.
Yeah, you want to take care of these so that if that moment comes, it's not as stressful. And sometimes when you're stressed out like that, maybe you don't think clearly and you're making some tough decisions that you can't do as well as you could if you're just doing it well ahead of time. Children and dependents become a part of this, obviously, as well. You need to plan for who takes care of them in a worst-case scenario. That's something else we need to talk about.
Yeah, so if you have minor children, or maybe you have a disabled adult, naming a guardian is important to start considering that, and especially if you have a disabled adult, you may want to consider a special needs trust when you pass away, and that can be done through a will or a trust. So the reason a special needs trust is important, Mike, is if your loved one is receiving government assistance and they receive this money, it will disqualify them from the government assistance. But if you do what they call a supplemental trust or otherwise named a special needs trust, you can protect that money where they can still maintain their government benefits and still maintain the money, and the trust would supplement what the government doesn't pay, Mike.
Yeah, you don't want to wait on these things, because you wait, you assume, I'll be fine, I can take care of this next year or down the road. Then all of a sudden you're in a tough spot, and you're kind of frazzled and frantic, and that's not the time to be making these important decisions if you can help it.
Exactly.
All right, well, that does it for this show. Make sure if you've got questions, the folks at Gateville Law Firm, they've done this for many years. They've got all of the answers for you. They'll put together a checklist to make sure that you don't miss a step with these important life decisions. Contact them at 630-780-1034. You can go online to gatevillelawfirm.com. They are close by, located in Yorkville. Talk to Sean Robertson and his team at Gateville Law Firm. This has been Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions.